Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Hope Malone. I'm the big cheese at Ham and Cheese Events. And today we're going to make a beef kebab out of a pot roast. The ingredients that we're going to need for this is obviously a pot roast, onions. I like a white onion, it's a sweeter onion, cherry tomatoes, bell pepper, either red, green, or yellow, mushrooms, a Worcestershire sauce, a Tabasco chipotle for a little different zest, salt, and pepper. Additionally, you're going to need some skewers to make your kebabs. What I like to do when I first buy the wooden skewers is you want to soak them in water for about 30 minutes. That allows the wood to absorb the water so that when you do put them in the oven or on a grill, they don't burn. So after you've got them soaked, I usually just wrap them up, put them in the freezer, and pull them out whenever I need them. So first we're going to start with the pot roast, and we're going to cube it. I like to cube up my pot roast in about 1 by 1 inch squares. That makes a nice uniform cooking for each one, and you don't have to make your vegetables so large to accommodate them and hold them. So I've got my pot roast, and I want to try and clean up as much of the fat and take it away so that we don't have a chewy, fatty kebab. On a clean cutting board, this. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to season our meat so that it can start marinating while we're making the rest of it. Very simple marinade today. We're just going to take a little bit of salt on each side and some pepper. And then I like to put some Worcestershire sauce and chipotle from Tabasco. It's a wonderful, unique flavor that most people don't expect when they're having a kebab. So a little Worcestershire, usually about 6 or 7 dashes per side, and rub it in. And the same with the chipotle. I like to be a little conservative with this because it can get a little salty, so maybe just 3 or 4. And again, rubbing on each side. So now we've got this marinating, and we're now going to clean, like I said, as much fat off of it as we can when we cube it. So there is a line of fat down the center, and it's nice just to cut straight down so that you can remove as much of the fat as possible. So we've got a nice half piece of the pot roast, and we can just cut these in cubes. Again, uniformity with this is always important so that everything cooks at the same temperature and the same rate. You also want to consider the bite size. Whenever you have a kebab, you don't want a big chewy piece of meat, so you want to keep that in mind as you're creating your kebabs. Once we've got this done, we're going to set the cubed meat aside, and we're going to start our vegetables. Making sure that you wash your hands between this so as not to cross-contaminate. Even though we're cooking all of this together, it's still important to clean your cutting board between meats and vegetables. So with my cutting board cleaned, I'm going to start and chop, again in large pieces, a 1 by 1 of your bell pepper. To do that, you want to start by cutting the top off of the bell pepper and the bottom. At this point, you have a nice ring, but it's got the inside, so you want to take that out. You can do that 2 ways. You can either pull it or you can actually cut it. Sometimes it has to be cut. So when you've got your ring, you want to cut it so that you've got a nice long strip. At this point, we're going to cut 2-inch sections. This is going to form the base of your skewer and your kebab, so that all the meat will set on this and hold nicely. Then we want to cut our onions. Again, large chunks of onions are good so that it all holds together and makes a nice meal on a stick, if you will. You're going to cut the ends off of each onion and cut that in half. Remove the dry skin. Even if you have to take an extra layer of onion off, this is definitely, you don't want the dry flake on your onion. It doesn't chew very well. When you've got your half onion, you just want to cut it into quarters if you have a large onion. I'm just going to start with this one and cut it in half. And I think we can go ahead and cut it in quarters. It's large enough. You want to keep the integrity together, so don't let it slip apart. So I'm going to set these over for use. So I like to start with the bottom, being very careful not to poke yourself. Make a nice base with the bell pepper. Then we want to add a cube of meat. And tuck it on top, kind of like you're building a sandwich. Next, I like to do onion. And again, a large piece of onion on top. Another slice of beef. And then as a topper, I either do a cherry tomato or a mushroom. That way you have 2 nice pieces of meat, each one weighing about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces, so 2 pieces of meat is plenty per person. Once we make up several of these, we're going to place them in our 350-degree oven. Pull them out after about 15 to 20 minutes and make sure that they're nice and done. The internal temperature of these need to be at least 140 degrees. Then we'll plate them up and be ready for a great barbecue. My name is Hope Malone. I'm the Big Cheese at Ham and Cheese Events, and I've shown you how to make beef kebabs.